What's going on, guys? So I got a new product in the mail. I purchased this on Amazon for about $300. This is the new Garmin Dezl 580 North America version LMT-S. So this is a navigation system with a 5-inch display. And a lot of people are going to wonder, well, don't you have a navigation system on your phone? Don't you have a navigation system in your truck? Why do you need an additional navigation system? And I'm going to explain that in this video, so hang tight. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've went ahead and unboxed this Dezl 580 series from Garmin. This again is a 5-inch diagonal display navigation system for your vehicle, and this has some perks over other navigation systems, including the one that's pre-installed in your vehicle if you opted for navigation, as well as the one on your phone, at least the native navigation tool on your phone using either Apple Maps or Google Maps. Now, the perk of this system is it is designed specifically for trucks. It is designed primarily for 18-wheelers, and it has a lot of features built in for them, especially if they need to comply with the ELD mandate or the electronic logging device mandate that requires them to use an electronic means of capturing their hours of service or their RODS logs, which is their record of duty status logs, basically the logs that require them to take breaks after a certain amount of driving. And this is all, again, compatible with that type of system if you need that for what you do. For pulling an RV, much of that won't apply, especially when it comes to the ELD side of the house. Now, where this can benefit an RVer is the fact that this can give you the route to take if you have certain height restrictions and certain width restrictions and length restrictions you have to worry about. Not all overpasses are going to be, the magical 14-foot tall or be able to clear a 13-foot 6-inch fifth wheel. And if that's the case, you need to make sure that you're traveling on the correct route so you don't potentially make contact with an overhang, make contact with a low overpass or a bridge, or you take a route that you simply can't maneuver through because your rig is too long or too wide. And that's where these truck-style navigation systems can come in really handy. Now, there are several brands that make a version of this. Rand McNally makes a version of it. There are several kind of off-brand units that you can buy on Amazon. But Garmin is definitely one of the leaders. They have a very highly rated system when it comes to the software that works on these. And they have a version of this in, I believe, 2 different screen sizes, either the 5 or a 7 or an 8-inch screen. But this is going to give you what you need to be able to ensure that your rig can fit in the places that you might want to take it. Or if you just don't know, you might travel through a city, you might plot in your course to go to a certain RV campground or some boondocking location, thinking that, everything is going to be fine and dandy until you realize that many of those routes that you're being taken on are routes that are designed for light-duty vehicles, and they don't factor in a vehicle that can have a high profile to it, something with, 12 plus feet worth of height. And you need to be able to consider that whenever you're pulling something that is very tall. And this can prevent you from damaging your AC units or tearing them off, or damaging the front overhang of your fifth wheel, or just really destroying your trip because of an unintended accident. So I'm going to power this on, and we're going to take a look at some of the menus on it. The power button is right here on the back. I'm simply going to hold it down for a couple of seconds. The unit has a very nice high contrast display. It's very easy to see. I've already used it a few times just to kind of see how the system works. As you can see, when you get started, there's a lot of startup setup menus that you kind of have to go through at first, but I've configured it for 13 foot 6 inches of height, 8 feet 5 inches wide, a total length of 65 feet, and a total weight of 30,000 pounds. I went a little bit higher than I needed to, a little bit wider than I needed to, and a little bit longer and heavier than I needed to, just to give myself a comfortable safety margin and to know if this is plotting me to go somewhere, it's going to take me over a route that a truck that is this size and this weight would be able to travel over. So, we're pushing kind of close to it with the fifth wheel, with the Van Lee and the truck, but this is going to give me some really clear explanations. And then I can switch it to a car route if I want to as well, which don't have several of those restrictions in place. But once I select my vehicle, I can either select a destination or I can view maps. If I select where to go, I can pick from all sorts of different things. So I can look up an address, I can check my saved addresses, recent addresses I've been on, categories such as fuel, food, rest stops, things like that, truck locations, truck services, trip planner, and I can go to my home menu. This is a very convenient system because it provides you a tremendous amount of flexibility. And because I'm inside right now, it's going to have a hard time acquiring satellites unless I get closer to the window. But what's nice about this system is, again, it's going to give you audible as well as visual instructions of where to go, what lane you need to be in, different types of scenarios that can get you around certain things if you need to take a alternate route somewhere. It's just a very robust system. One of the only things I don't really care for about it, and you might be able to tell, is that it has a relatively low resolution screen. With Samsung and LG making such high resolution screens, you would figure that it could easily be translated over to a device like this, simply because even your lower end cheaper smartphones are having pretty high resolution screens now. And for Garmin to stick with such a low resolution screen doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially for a device that's $300. It kind of is what it is. It provides enough detail to, of course, get you where you're going, but I think they could have provided you additional detail with a higher resolution screen. Also, some of the really cool features of this, it does have Bluetooth built into it, so it can connect to your phone, and you can use this as a Bluetooth speaker if you don't have Bluetooth built into your vehicle. I know most modern vehicles, Bluetooth is pretty much standard, but if you have an older vehicle or you have a vehicle that just doesn't have a Bluetooth speaker in it, this one can act as a Bluetooth speaker for your cell phone, which is really nice. Another feature I like is the fact that this one has Wi-Fi. So I can connect this to my truck's Wi-Fi and I get lifetime updated maps at no cost, which is super cool. It's part of the reason that you pay more for a system like this, but because of that, it updates the maps for you automatically and you don't have to worry about paying for a new map update all the time. I also like the fact that the system comes with a few different mounting techniques. So it has a platform style mount as well as a suction style mount to mount it to your windshield, and it's very secure, which is nice, plus an onboard battery, which means once it's charged, you don't have to have a power cable running across your dash, because if you know the inside of my truck, I'm pretty much loaded up with other types of accessories, from my tire pressure monitoring system to my air compressor system, control the air suspension that I have in the back, as well as my dash cameras. And it gets kind of cluttered. So to have one device that I can charge up and unplug and not have to worry about makes really, really good sense for me. Anyways, guys, this is going to be something that goes with us from now on. I'm going to use it especially in unfamiliar areas where I could potentially take a route that's not safe for the RV, considering the height, the width, the weight, and the length. And this should help navigate us through the safest possible route, considering all those factors. Guys, I'll put a link in the description. This is something I paid for. This wasn't a sponsored item. I just decided to get it myself because I wanted one for a while. And it's something I can carry from vehicle to vehicle if I'm going to be in a different type of tow vehicle or in a different situation, because, again, battery powered and portable. Works really well so far. I've had a chance to use it a couple times just to test it, but I'm not going to give you a full test review until I've had it for a long enough period of time to give you an honest review on it. But guys, I'll put a link in the description if this is something you might be interested in. Again, I got it off of Amazon. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.